please don't forget to like and share the video and subscribe to the channel. Thank you. Chapter 26, Sweet Sunday Afternoon.
On this Sunday, Harold broke from his usual routine. Instead of waiting impatiently in the car, he stayed in the room as his wife put on her jewelry and church hat. They shared a warm conversation, reflecting on how blessed they were to have a family that genuinely cared for one another and always tried to work through their challenges. Harold and his wife arrived at church on time, but Brandon and Thado were a little late. This time, Brandon managed to catch Kiki's attention, and she smiled at her friend. Fortunately, the choir sang a song in a key that Gloria could comfortably sing. After church, Brandon invited Kiki to stop by later, and she agreed to try. Back at the house, everyone changed into more comfortable attire. Since Gloria had been informed at the last minute that she would be hosting, she ordered seafood and barbecue with sides of coleslaw, green beans, rolls, and iced tea. While Thado and Brandon were engrossed in video games, Harold decided to set the mood by putting on some music. Hours passed, and just as Zuri and Tommy arrived together, the food delivery showed up. Harold tipped the driver while Brandon and Thado brought the food into the kitchen. The food was arranged in a buffet style so that everyone could serve themselves. After Harold said grace, each family member filled their plates with whatever they wanted. Moments later, the doorbell rang. It was Kiki. Brandon escorted her to the kitchen and handed her a plate, inviting her to help herself. As everyone ate, Zuri and Tommy shared their idea of creating a science and soccer summer program. The family was impressed, and Kiki offered to help by potentially locating the program at the high school, which Zuri appreciated. As the meal wound down, Thado excitedly shared how well his rap performance had gone at school. Pop Pop playfully claimed that his rap would be even better, which made Thado laugh profusely. Brandon, sensing an opportunity, suggested a rap challenge, which everyone quickly embraced. Thado laughed as he watched his grandparents get ready. Pop Pop turned his baseball hat backward, and Gigi donned dark sunglasses. Brandon set the beat on the keyboard, while Zuri grabbed her phone, eager to record what she knew would be both fun and a bit of a disaster. As the beat played, Pop Pop began by explaining that Thado had asked him to create a rap about narratives. He started giving a detailed background, but Thado, pretending to check his watch, prompted Zuri and Brandon to yell for their dad to just start rapping without the long dissertation. So Gigi passed out paper with the words of hook to everyone that they took from Thado's rap, and Pop Pop had them repeat it. Don't be deceived by appearances and what's been told. These forced narratives and images are ignorant and old. Dribble and three-pointers can happen if you're small. Remember, not all tall people can play basketball. Then Pop Pop started, and Gigi joined in as they looked at their sheet. Yo, check it. They got the power, the narrative control, manipulating, minds playing every role. In the boardroom, the courtroom, twisting the truth, politicians and the media deceiving the youth. They write the script, planting seeds of doubt, fabricating stories, shouting lies out loud. In the halls of Congress, the anchor's news flash. They paint a picture perfect, though it's all just trash. The family member's eye opens wide, shocked, and they swayed and clapped to the beat. Behind closed doors, decisions are made, history rewritten in the shade they parade. A tapestry of fiction, woven tight and neat, public perception bowing at their feet. Question the tale, break free from the mold, seek the truth, let the real story unfold. Now it has gone to the grandparents' head as they are strutting around, barely staying on beat. People in power, they mold the view, creating the stories, whether false or true. From the top to the bottom, they run the show, controlling the narrative, making us believe we know. At this point, they point to the family to join in with their hook that are printed on the paper. Don't be deceived by appearances and what's been told. These forced narratives and images are ignorant and old. Dribble and three-pointers can happen if you're small. Remember, not all tall people can play basketball. They repeat it 2 more times, and when they are done, they clap, laugh, and give each other high fives. Thado goes over to his grandparents and gives them both big hugs. Zuri was happy her parents followed through with the rap. She knew they would. It was impressive how much work they put into it. Tommy was curious if his mother-in-law now liked rap music. Gloria insisted it was fine with her as long as it was not a lot of cursing and use of the N-word. He smiled and agreed. The front door rang again, and Harold went to the door and brought in some flowers he had ordered for his wife and daughter. As he put the arrangements on the table, both Gloria and Zuri gave him a big hug. As they hugged him, he slyly winked at Tommy. Tommy just laughed. Tommy suggested going outside to play some basketball. Thato, Brandon, and Harold followed Tommy as he went to the garage to get the basketball. Gloria, Zuri, and Key stayed inside for a while talking and putting away the food. The neighbor across the street noticed Harold and his family enjoying a game of basketball. Curious, he walked over and casually asked Harold what he thought about George's recent arrest. Harold, not eager to discuss the topic, hesitated. But the neighbor pressed on, saying, "You'd never expect something like that to happen in a neighborhood like ours." Harold replied, "The narratives we create about neighborhoods like this are often just stories we tell ourselves, that's right, whether they're true or not." The neighbor paused, reflecting on Harold's words, and then said, "Agreed, it's really about what's inside each person's soul." Harold patted his neighbor on the back. As the neighbor walked back to his house, he stated, "I'm glad his arrest was not all over the news. It would make our property values decrease." Harold just said, "You're right. It probably won't be on the news," then made his way back to the house. All the ladies had found a spot on the porch to watch the men play. That was shooting from three-point range, with his dad and uncle rebounding and passing the ball back to him. He was making most of his shots. Suddenly, Harold stepped in front of his grandson. "Brandon, pass me the ball," he called to his son. Brandon tossed it to his dad, and the family watched as the 6'2" Harold dribbled toward the basket. He took a shot, the ball hit the rim, bounced around, and then fell to the side. The family let out a collective, "Oh!" Thato quickly retrieved the ball and handed it back to his pop-pop with a grin. "Like I said, just because you're tall doesn't mean you can play basketball." Zuri chuckled as she listened to her son, Thato. She told her mother, Gloria, how Thato hadn't yet realized he was getting taller. It seemed like he'd grown a couple of inches just in the past week. She wondered how long his rap about being tall but not playing basketball would last, especially now that he was in the middle of a growth spurt. Gloria nodded in agreement, while Kiki smiled quietly from the side. Changing the subject, Zuri mentioned to her mother that she and Tommy were planning a second honeymoon trip to Canada. Gloria smiled, saying it sounded like a nice idea to get away and relax. Just then, Harold appeared, clearly exhausted as he dragged himself up onto the porch. Meanwhile, Zuri and Kiki headed toward the driveway, ready to join the basketball game already in progress. During a break to reassign teams, Tommy's phone buzzed. He checked it and saw a Zelle payment from his brother-in-law, Brandon. He gave Brandon a fist bump in appreciation. On the porch, Gloria informed Harold about Zuri and Tommy's upcoming trip to Canada. Harold was about to complain about being left to take care of their grandson while they were on vacation, but instead, he just smiled. "Let's take a picture," Harold suggested. Kiki volunteered to take it using Harold's phone, but Brandon insisted she should join in and suggested a group selfie instead. Thato quickly pulled out his own phone, stepped a few paces ahead of the group, and held it up to get everyone in the shot. "On 3, say family," he called out. 1, 2, 3. Family.
What did you think of the characters in the story? Could you relate to any of them? What did you think overall of the book? As always, I would love to hear your comments below. Please don't forget to like and share the video. Be sure to hit the notification button to be notified of the next video. Thank you.
The end.